Alright, so one here with, thanks Quill, Quill the Wedge-tailed Eagle. I'm sitting in her nest. Actually it's the nest that she and I built together a couple of years ago. Now Quill's going to be quite disruptive, so I'll see how I go with this. But basically the Wedge-tailed Eagle is of course one of our best known birds of prey. It's the largest eagle in Australia. We have 3 eagle species in Australia. The largest is the Wedge-tailed Eagle, and I just hope she's not going to eat the phone. The white-bellied sea eagle runs a close second, and then we have the magnificent little eagle, which is quite a small species of eagle, as its name actually implies. But our big iconic raptor, the Wedge-tailed Eagle, is without a doubt the best known eagle in Australia. You can't see her, but she's right above the camera. No doubt she'll come down if I encourage her with a nice stick or something. Do you want to come say hello? Come on. Quill's a female Wedge-tailed Eagle. She came to me around about 5 years ago. She's been living here with us ever since, originally from South Australia. There she is, good girl. There you are. And the thing about Quill is she's a human imprint. So she believes that she's a person or that I'm a bird. She's not quite sure what the difference is. And as far as she's concerned, I'm her husband. This is rather complicated from time to time. And don't tell her otherwise, because otherwise things might turn ugly. She loves me as long as I'm wearing the right clothes. If I'm wearing the wrong clothes, she thinks I'm a stranger and she wants to eat me. Good girl, I know, that's a strange looking thing there, isn't it? So these beautiful, magnificent Wedge-tailed Eagles, don't you dare eat that. Oh, leave the camera alone, Quill. Just, oi, come here, come on, just leave it alone. Thank you. So disruptive, honestly. It's like working with a 5-year-old. Very good. The nesting cycle's very long. It takes a long time to produce a baby eagle. And so the process all starts really in autumn, where you have display flights and bonding between the pairs, just like Quill and I are doing now. And you'll see these undulating flights of Wedge-tailed Eagles displaying to each other during the autumn months. And then, now just in brief, the nesting cycle of these birds. So courtship begins in about April. Then we have egg laying, which happens in this part of the country in about July. So 2 eggs laid about 3 days apart. And I will show a Wedge-tailed Eagle nest very shortly in our show and tell section, if Quill here doesn't eat the camera in the meantime. So egg laying in get out of it, Quill, so you stop trying to eat it. Egg laying, oi, get out. Egg laying in July, 2 eggs, then incubation for 42 to 43 days, and then generally the first one will hatch a few days before the second. Sometimes after the chicks hatch, one kills the other. It's called the Cain and Abel syndrome. So in your average year, only 1 chick will be reared. In a really good year, a Wedge-tailed Eagle pair may raise 2 chicks quite successfully. A really fantastic year, 3, but that's very, very rare. Usually 1 to 2 chicks is all you get. The young will grow in the nest for around about 11 to 12 weeks before they leave the nest. When they leave the nest, they're fully grown. So I've had people in the past bring me small birds of prey, injured birds like kestrels and goshawks and sparrowhawks, and say, oh, I think I found a baby eagle. No, when an eagle leaves the nest, it's fully grown. These birds are called altricial birds, and they do all of their growing in the nest. So the feet of a Wedge-tailed Eagle, don't grab the camera please, incredibly powerful. In fact, there's tendons inside those feet which are designed like a ratchet mechanism, and that means that the bird can actually lock its feet in place when it grabs a hold of its prey. And that might be a rabbit or even a small kangaroo, something of the sort. And in that way, it's impossible for that animal to escape because the feet are locked in place. 3 talons facing forwards and 1 facing back, which is known as the hallux. Quill here's got 1 anklet on at the moment. She's pulled 1 off, and I need to replace that at some stage, but there's no great rush since she's not performing at the moment. She's trying to eat my camera at the moment. If you could stop doing that, that would be wonderful. Okay, so this is Yaram. Yaram is a male wedge-tailed eagle. He's about 2/3 the size of Quill. So fully fat, Yaram would weigh around about 3 kilos. Quill weighs about 4 kilos. This is what we call reverse sexual dimorphism. It means the female is bigger than the male, which is the reverse of the usual trend in the bird world. Most bird species, the male is bigger, not so the birds of prey. Generally speaking, the female is the larger one. You'll notice he's quite dark in colour, like Quill. Wedge-tailed eagles change with each successive molt. From very young birds, they're very blonde and light colours, although they have a very dark beak in their first year of life. As they get older, they get darker. So by the age of about 8 years of age, the wedge-tailed eagle has very, very dark colours indeed. And you see these older black individuals. Both of our birds here at the Leigh Valley Hawk and Owl Sanctuary are black in colour. And that's because both of them are more than 8 years of age. You can see Yaram's quite dark in colour. There he is. He's a very handsome boy, Yaram. A bit naughty at times. Oh, there we are. Hello. Coming to say hello. He does like to jump on my shoulder. He thinks he's some sort of pirate eagle or something. Out you go. Get some exercise. Good boy. Okay, so Wedge-tailed Eagle show and tell, and I'm being seriously photobombed here by chickens and a border collie. Come and say hello. Go on, Cabbage. Cab, come. Good girl. There we are. A bit nervous about this egg for some reason. She's not sure what it is. Maybe it smells a bit like an eagle, and she did have a bit of a run-in with one of our eagles one day. So this is Wedge-tailed Eagle show and tell, and I've got a variety of different things here in front of me. To begin with, this beautiful egg, which is one of Quill's eggs, one of her infertile eggs, and you can see those beautiful blotchy markings on it. This one here hasn't actually been blown, so I'm being very, very careful the way I handle it, because if it, I know, Cabbage, it's interesting, isn't it? If it breaks, we're all going to have to run, because it's going to smell awful. This is one she sat on for quite a long period of time, sadly infertile. So there's a wedge-tailed eagle egg. You can see, careful, Cabbage, you can see just the size of it fits nicely and snugly into the palm. Now, what else have I got here? Here's a skull of an eagle. In fact, this is another replica. It's a replica of a golden eagle skull. And you'll notice that the eyes are embedded in rings of cartilage inside the eye sockets. And they take up quite a large proportion of the skull. Very large proportion given over to eyesight with this nice hard protection as well over the top of the eyes. These bony protrusions, these eye ridges, Cabbage, move, these eye ridges which help to protect the eyes from damage. So the eyes of a wedge-tailed eagle are remarkable. You can see in ultraviolet, you can pick up a lot more movement with those eyes than we're able to detect with our eyes. And you can even see a rabbit moving across a background from about 1.5 kilometres away. He's also got a very flexible neck, as you can see there. He's able to turn his head quite a long way around and almost upside down. And of course that's very important if your eyes, unlike ours, are not very flexible in the sockets. So they're so big that in fact they don't have a lot of movement at all in the skull. So to make up for that, very, very flexible neck, and that allows him to keep an eye on what's going on around him at all times. The head, the beak there, very powerful and used primarily once the prey has been caught with the feet. This is why we call a bird of prey a raptor, because raptor is a Latin word for to seize a hold of something and carry it away. So the feet generally do most of the work. It's the main weapon of a bird of prey. It's the most important weapon in its arsenal. Then the beak comes into play to finish off that prey once they've grabbed a hold of their victim, and then to tear it up into bite-sized chunks and swallow it down. I also have a replica of a hind talon of a golden eagle. You can see that there. So that's a 1-to-1 replica. Oh, look at that, very, very sharp. And that would do a lot of damage indeed. The hind talon is the longest and the sharpest talon, and if you've ever been grabbed by an eagle or a bird of prey, you'll know firsthand that that is the one that does all the damage. It's very, very painful. That can go in very, very deeply indeed. It's quite a weapon. A couple of feathers. A beautiful wing feather from a left-hand wing. It's a notched primary, which is an adaptation for soaring flight. These birds are very, very good at soaring flight. They can soar effortlessly for hours at a time when searching for prey. This other feather here I found before in Quill's nest, and you can see that beautiful plumes there. It's so soft. There's nothing as strong weight for weight as a feather. Very, very strong, but very, very light indeed. Highly modified scales these are. So I hope you've enjoyed this show and tell for the wedge-tailed eagle with this beautiful egg and the talon and the skull and these beautiful feathers as well.